Top 10 Games for SNES. Hi, in this amazing video we are going to talk about top 10 games for SNES. Shall we start now? First of all, please subscribe our YouTube channel so that you would enjoy next videos in future. Following some of the best NES games, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, SNES, was an immediate hit upon release. It's not surprising that Nintendo had one of the most successful product launches in history after selling out of the initial shipment of 300,000 units in a matter of hours. The SNES gave us a groundbreaking opportunity to play video games at home rather cheaply given the time of the system's release. Many gamers still have pleasant recollections of the system, but some of our favorites have been lost to the passage of time because it was so long ago. We have put together a list of some of the best SNES games to draw attention to some of these overlooked classics. Number 10, Mortal Kombat 2. The first Mortal Kombat caused a stir because of its horrifying and previously unheard-of levels of brutality, but the sequel caused a stir because it was a pretty fine fighting game. Although the gameplay of the original Mortal Kombat games has since been surpassed, they were nonetheless unique at the time. Although the extreme violence and gore were original, it was also one of the first video games to seem like an adult activity. In retrospect, they were undoubtedly more childish than adult, but the Mortal Kombat series, along with games like Doom, pushed the boundaries of permissible content and made video games appealing to older audiences. Mortal Kombat 2 was a significant game in the context of the series since it introduced faster gameplay and new combos that would later come to define the gameplay of future game series. Of course, Mortal Kombat 3 added more characters and developed the series plot, but from the perspective of gameplay, Mortal Kombat 2 laid the groundwork for the franchise's current status as a mainstay of the fighting game subgenre. Number 9, Turtles in Time, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. It might surprise you that there is just one beat-em-up on this list for a genre that was so representative of the late 1980s and early 1990s. The sad fact is that, compared to other classic video game genres, beat-em-ups haven't held up as well. Beat-em-ups are a byproduct of an era when arcade games were challenging and aimed to repeatedly rob players of their change, and by today's standards, they frequently feel monotonous and uninteresting. Even by the late 1990s, the design idea of knock everyone up and move right had mostly been abandoned in video games. Nevertheless, certain video games managed to escape the limitations of their genre and continue to be appreciated. Turtles in Time is without a doubt the best beat-em-up on the SNES and might even be the best game ever made in the category. Number 8, Kirby's Dream Course. Although Kirby is more renowned for his vintage side-scrolling adventures, his best SNES game was, oddly enough, a golf game. We can't say the same about other golf games on the console, which is what makes Kirby's Dream Course such a pleasure to play. Although the physics was far from realistic, they did behave logically, which made practicing the 6 challenging courses in the game fun. Kirby's Dream Course is the best golf game on the SNES and the best Kirby game because of the iconic Kirby foes and power-ups that pepper each round. Kirby's Dream Course also stands out for its wonderfully designed stages. Number 7. Star Fox. Given that some of the most exquisite sprite work ever created emerged on Nintendo's 16-bit hardware, the SNES is most typically known for pushing 2D visuals. But a lot of people frequently forget about the Mode 7 chip, a minor upgrade that enabled 3D rendering. In general, the Mode 7 chip produced few effects, perhaps just dazzling 3D animations over 2D sprites. Star Fox turned it on its head by emphasizing 3D polygonal graphics and using sprites for added flair. The reason Star Fox made our list is that it was a rush to play, even though the graphics may have been amazing at the time and haven't held up well over time like most early 3D games. The action is divided into various scenes, each of which occurs on a different planet or area of the Lilith solar system. The difficulty of each stage varies as well, and branching routes encourage replayability. Number 6, F-Zero. F-1991 Zero's release alongside the SNES was a remarkable achievement. The quick-paced racer stood out from earlier racing games in both appearance and gameplay. The impression of speed that the game communicated was what made F-Zero such a fantastic demonstration of the SNES capability. With the help of the system's potent, recently released technology, tracks and vehicles zoomed across the screen, and the future sci-fi style of the ships and locations stood out. The racers in F-Zero and their recognizable sci-fi vehicles helped to distinguish the game from others on the system and win over fans. Given how few games Nintendo has produced in the F-Zero series, it is understandable that fans are hungry for a new entry. Number 5, Legend of the Seven Stars in Super Mario RPG. In the Hall of Fame of Outstanding SNES RPGs, Super Mario RPG is somewhat of a pariah. It's more like an RPG Lite because the story and character building elements that are typical of the genre are condensed. Instead, Super Mario RPG occasionally plays more like a classic Super Mario game, giving the role-playing genre a more jovial, action-oriented spin. The game, however, also served as a foundation for some of Nintendo's more modern RPGs, including Mario and Amp, Luigi and Paper Mario. Both heavily emulate the gameplay of Super Mario RPG, including elements like timed assaults and crucial plot turns that see you working with Mario's bitter enemy, Bowser. Super Mario RPG is a crucial entry into the Super Mario brand even if it isn't extremely challenging. It is entertaining and attractive. Number 4, Shadowrun. Although the SNES is regarded with affection as one of the last strongholds of the Japanese role-playing game, one of the best RPGs on the system has nothing to do with crystals, castles in the Middle Ages, or prehistoric magic. It was also created in the United States. Based on a tabletop role-playing game of the same name, Shadowrun distinguished itself from its rivals with a distinctive setting and real-time action gameplay. The 2050 cyberpunk city setting of the game had a crime noir storyline that was partially based on Robert N. Charrette's novel Never Deal with a Dragon. Elves, orcs, samurai, wizards, and other fantasy characters were encountered by players, but they were all presented with a distinctively futuristic twist. Additionally, Shadowrun played differently from the majority of other console RPGs of the period, more closely mimicking PC RPGs of the time. Real-time gameplay gave players complete control over protagonist Jake Armitage. Number 3, ActRaiser. ActRaiser was, and still is, a revolutionary game for its time. The game deserves high praise for being both an action platformer and a city-building game at the same time. Players assumed the role of the master, or the god of ActRaiser's world, who commands a cherubic angel who serves as the playable character during the CitySim segments and commands a warrior statue who serves as the playable character during the platforming stages. However, the blending of the two styles was not exactly smooth. Number 2, The Alien Wars, in contrast to 3. The most thrilling game to play on this list is likely Contra 3. The action starts in the first frame of the first level and doesn't stop. After the city is reduced to ruins in the opening cinematic by a powerful laser that pierces the dark clouds above it, Contra 3 is a never-ending onslaught of monsters and bullets that are all expertly depicted on the SNES's powerful 16-bit hardware. The third installment of Konami's action franchise also significantly altered the core gameplay of Contra by adding new dual-wielding combinations and more weapon options. Number 1, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Super Ghouls and Ghosts initially appears to be just another side-scrolling platformer, but attempting to play through its endless stream of difficult levels like it's any other Super Mario-style platformer will guarantee controller failure. The game Super Ghouls and Ghosts is challenging. The player-controlled character moves slowly and is easily killed. Dangerous barriers appear out of nowhere, and attackers attack you from all sides. How was this video? Do you like it? Submit your feedback below in our comments section. And don't forget to subscribe us.